Hello everyone, and welcome to the Digimon Ghost Game video. This time I'm going to be going over the final episode of Digimon Ghost Game, which is episode 67, The Devourer of All. So, quick synopsis or recap if it's been a while since you watched the episode, or you're just not sure exactly what was going on. So first of all, we carry on from the end of the last episode with Cirrusmon doing his best Leomon from Digimon Tamers cosplay and has a big hole in his chest. Then my worst fears are met, not in the usual Ghost Game sense, but in the Digimon writing sense, and we have this wound cured by the power of friendship. Now this is something that Digimon likes to do, and I'm never a big fan of when it happens. Basically, Hero is spoken to by some disembodied voice that slows down time, and he's basically able to enter this, nightmare world that Gammamon is currently in. He finds Gammamon, and then Gammamon doesn't seem to really remember who Hero is, so he reminds him and says, look, we can, we'll eat the champion, and, remember we're all always together, I never left your side, we were doing this, we're doing that, and then, you're my little brother. And then the power of friendship causes Cirrusmon's wound to heal, because that's the power of friendship, and Digimon really does love using that trope a little bit too much. And then we have the final battle, and then Cirrusmon is able to devour or absorb Gammamon, who decides, oh, okay, I've lost, I'll now play nice. Then they go to the place that Bloom Lordmon was guarding once Gammamon, just with a snap of his fingers, fixes all the issues in the digital world, because he's just decided that he'll just play nice now. Because, of course, he does. He doesn't put up a fight once he gets devoured, he's just like, oh well, everything's back to normal, which is kind of a little bit of what happens in a lot of Ghost Game. The Mon of the Week goes, oh, my bad, won't happen again, everything is now the way it was at the start of the episode. So the characters go and they meet this being called Quantummon, who is just kind of just Jellymon's personality of just being really positive and maybe slightly a little bit chaotic in a way, and explains that the digital world was kind of in this disarray, and she's the one that sent all these Digimon, and she's kind of was using them and their relationships with Digimon and basically what was happening in each episode as for educational purposes, basically. Then Gammamon all of a sudden has Gammamon eyes, all the dark variant Digimon show up, and Quantummon explains that these were kind of just to watch out for Gammamon, and that's all they were, which was kind of like a theory that a lot of people had, but I was kind of hoping that it was more than that. Last week's episode we found out that Gammamon was dropping off little dark spores everywhere. I was kind of hoping that that had something to do with it, considering Gammamon's corrosion of the digital world was basically turning other Digimon into their dark variants. Apparently, as far as I can tell, completely unrelated, Blacktailmon is also just a friend of Quantummon doing this investigation of humans and Digimon. Gammamon, through Gammamon, also explains that he is an alien, which that is just fascinating, because we have the digital world, the human world, and then we have aliens for the digital world. So I guess Gammamon is a Tamagotchi? Because the Tamagotchi planet is an alien world, I guess? I don't know. He's an alien, which is, I guess, interesting because we have alien Digimon and now we just have an actual is an alien. And he explains that his world was devoured and this world will also be devoured. Everyone starts to panic until they find out that it'll be in 2,000 years, and everyone's just kind of oh well, we'll be gone by then, which is a very human approach to think about something that's happening in the world. Oh, when will this giant calamity happen? Oh, in thousands of years where we no longer are on this earth, whatever. That's not an issue for me, that's the issue for my great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Very human approach there. Anyway, so then the characters decide to just continue on their Mon of the Week adventure and solve problems that Digimon have in the human world, and kind of work as, I guess, like diplomats or ambassadors for the digital world. So they're doing what Tai Chi does at the end of adventure, I guess. And that's basically it. It was kind of like an almost jump scare ending in that it just happened so quickly. It was just like, oh, okay, that they're now going to fight no one. Okay. I was still expecting it to have a few more minutes. I was like, okay, there's a few more minutes, we can do something, but no. The episode ends, like, really, really suddenly, in the same way that a lot of Digimon seasons tend to end with a kind of open ending kind of way, even if they have no plans for a season 2 or a movie, which I very much doubt the Ghost Game would have a season 2 or a movie. We haven't had a season 2 or a movie for a while. It's been Atmon. Atmon never had a season 2 or a movie. And the rest of the seasons tend to have very much open endings. We had Tamers, where Takato may or may not have found Gilmon again or the path to the digital world. Frontier, I guess, was fairly closed, as much as the ending was just the power of friendship running into a hospital room. Savers had, they now are going to continue on with the Dats, and Masaru now lives in the digital world. Cross Wars, I guess, ended into Young Hunters. And Young Hunters was also kind of like, okay, we still have to keep up the looking after about what Digimon are doing in the human world. And Atmon also had is Eugen coming back? Haru's now studying to be an AI professor. Eugen may or may not be coming back, and to see him again, it may or may not have been a dream sequence, that kind of thing. So Digimon really does like to have its open endings where the story could just continue on, which I guess is fine. Like, it is an okay ending. However, it just felt, and a lot of people were worried about this, that it would feel, and it does, feel a little bit rushed. They just kind of say, okay, Quantumon was the one who sent them all, she was just kind of researching, we're just going to take her word for it, the world is going to be devoured by something, we don't know what, and we cured Cirrusmon with the power of friendship. Now, there's just a little bit of weirdness here, because it just went in a completely different way that I was expecting, and that's not a good or a bad thing, it's just, I guess, a thing. Yes, I am disappointed with the ending. Yes, there are other ways they could have gone about it, but overall it's fine, and hey, I'm not a writer. So I am surprised that we didn't have Regulusmon's Mega form, which is Arcturusmon, and we also didn't have the combination of Regulusmon Mega and Cirrus Gammamon's Mega, or Cirrusmon rather, which is, Cirrusmon and Arcturusmon. They combined to make Proximamon. And I was kind of surprised that they have this design. They hadn't added Proximamon to the reference book yet, so I thought that that'd be happening in this episode, and I thought that they would combine to fight the actual big bad. But no, it was a lot more simple than that. The big bad was just Gulus Gammamon. He was just kind of being evil, and they didn't really explain other than just, he is evil, he's also an alien, apparently, and they didn't really go into any more depth than just, he was just kind of spreading his evil throughout the digital world, and one loss made him just concede. There wasn't even really any bonding. He just kind of got devoured and gave up. Again, a very, very Ghost Game conclusion to Ghost Game is just to have the Mon of the Week go, oh, my bad, people don't like being turned into the evil variant of themselves, I'll stop doing that now, and now everything will be back to normal. That's just kind of how Ghost Game goes. And we may or may not see that Digimon again, I guess. Speaking of which, there was also the Digimon that did not come back that kind of said that they would. We had Phalesmon, who was kind of like, I'll come back at a later date. We had various vampires who did the same. We had Zasomon, who was kind of like, oh, I'll go off and be evil over there where you can't see me, and I'm guessing that's just what he did. And that's kind of a disappointment that we didn't have any of these returning Digimon come back to either join in on the fight or be a big bad. And there wasn't even any real fight to do with anything at the end. It was just like a traditional Ghost Game way of going, oh, I'll be good now and also revert everything back to normal, which is extremely annoying, but it is also, I shouldn't have expected anything else from Ghost Game. That is the conclusion that they've gone with for a lot of the time. It's just, oh, I won't do that again. Everything's back to normal. On the other hand, we do also have the Moon Millenniumon in the room. Hero kind of made a point that he was taking it with him. A few episodes ago, he was looking into it as Gammamon and Moon Millenniumon were kind of napping. He was just staring at this crystallized evil in his hand. And I was almost expecting that Moon Millenniumon would have something to do with the ultimate debut of Proximamon, being the combination between Gammamon and his Ghoulish form. But that didn't really happen. In fact, Moon Millenniumon was not mentioned again, which confuses me a little bit because they made a point that Hero would take him, and then they showed him a few episodes later just kind of existing in the same space as Hero. Kind of a little bit annoying there. And again, very much surprised that the ending just kind of happened. Again, that's kind of on brand for both Digimon and Ghost Game, but overall it just felt like I just wanted a little bit more. Like, if we were to find out that there was one more episode coming immediately, or a movie, it felt like that, just one more episode or a movie, probably even just one 20-minute episode, would tie this up fairly well. But again, that is a problem with a lot of Ghost Game, is that it just needs a little bit more tacked on to each ending, and this episode also needed a little bit tacked on, which is kind of a shame. I felt like it was missing something. It just kind of ended, and I wouldn't say I'm necessarily disappointed. I don't think that I necessarily hate Digimon Ghost Game. I still really liked most of Ghost Game. I just felt like the ending left a little bit to be desired. I guess that's kind of like the open ending nature of it. Like, it could just go into anything. Again, there's probably not going to be a sequel. There's probably not going to be a movie. But I guess they could easily write in at least like a CD drama of them doing their Monster of the Week thing from now on. But overall, those are my initial very quick impressions now that I've just seen that episode. I'll do another recap episode in a few days about whether or not Digimon Ghost Game was actually good. I think it was, but again, the ending is kind of a little bit too open-ended, if that makes sense. So in any case, those are my thoughts on this week's episode, the final episode of Digimon Ghost Game. Let me know your thoughts, comments, and questions in the comment section below. Like this video if you also kind of wanted to do Moon Millenniumon or something, he existed, and it felt like there should have been a reason for him existing, but there wasn't, and that's kind of a shame. So leave a like for Moon Millenniumon, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course if you have subscribed, tell your friends, tell your neighbours, tell your enemies, and of course, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!